Getting motivated, how to live the life you want, it's all down to your mind. Hello and welcome to the last part of this e-course, Getting Motivated, how to get juiced up to achieve anything that you desire. Hi, I'm Selina Stone, a Master Life Coach and Casting Director, here to guide you through this series. Now, you can download a written copy of this course at selinastone.com under the heading e-courses. Now, let's start today's session with attitude and motivation. The most important factor that goes into determining one's success is what goes on in his or her mind. Where you are today and what you are today is because of your own mental attitude towards yourself and others, and you alone can change it. All that is needed is a change of attitude. Your mental attitude that you carry is actually more important than it seems. It may be a boon or a bane for you. It could be affecting your life without your knowledge. Your mental attitude could either take you up the path of success or down the depths of failure. And changing it is only in your hands. In this session, we shall see what the correct mental attitude actually is. Chances are that if you already have it, if you haven't, no worries, you can always acquire it. We already know how important motivation is and how it can work wonders in one's life. We shall further talk about this activity that gets you off your butt and kickstarts you into action. Attitude, a little thing that makes a big difference. As Zig Ziglar says, it's not what happens to you that determines how far you will go in life. It's how you handle what happens to you. So, whatever you do in life, it is the attitude that you have before, during and after doing it that determines your success or failure. Now, a few more examples that we've gone through before. Picture a footballer taking a penalty shot. What do you think is going through his mind? A goal? Or whether the goalkeeper will save it, or if the ball will end up somewhere else. What do you think when taking a penalty kick? Goal or miss? Driving lessons. I guess many of you would have gone for it and got through as well. It's some pride to flaunt that driving licence after having received it. Now, think of a person who's just failed his driving test. What thoughts will his mind be full of? Confidence that he will pass it the next time he attempts it? Or a decision to quit bothering and just give it up? Maybe a disheartened feeling that perhaps driving isn't meant for him and that he can be content with public transport. There is but a simple rule that you should apply to your thinking in everything you do. Think positively and you will get positive results. Think negatively and you will get negative results. It's as simple as that. Okay, now that's clear. Let's complete today's exercise. This exercise will enable you to understand the thoughts of positive and negative people. Think of the different people you know well, your friends, relatives, and colleagues. Classify all these people under two heads: negative thinkers and positive thinkers. As you know them well, this shouldn't be a very difficult task. Please refer to your worksheet for an example. Now, there must be something which made you feel that they are positive-minded or negative-minded. Something they said or their reaction to something, etc. Write out all those words that describe why you feel that the people under the heading positive people are positive. What do they say? How do they act? What do they do? Write it down. Now, prepare another list. Here you have to classify the same people listed before into the two categories: successful and non-successful. Remember, it is your perception of whether they are a success or not. Now, look at the two tables you have. In all probability, you will find that the most of the people you categorise as successful people are those who are positive minded. Similarly, most of the people rated as unsuccessful will belong to the negative thinking lot. You see? Successful people in life are always positive people. They are the people who know what they want. They are the people who are optimistic. They are the people who expect the best. They are the people who expect to win. Now, negative people in turn are pessimistic. They look for the worst in everything and expect to fail. These people tend to moan and complain a lot and always try to put other people down. The way both positive and negative people handle problems is very different. While the positive-minded persons will look for solutions to the problems and means to proceed further. The negative-minded persons will lose confidence. They will criticise themselves for having chosen that path and will be convinced that he is beaten even before he starts. Everything that you choose to think affects your life. The one thing that can bring success or failure in one's life is attitude. Now, think that you're a person who's come to attend an interview at an office. Picture this. You're sitting on one of those comfortable chairs outside the interview room in the office. Your certificates and papers ready with you. Now, what exactly is going through your mind as you sit there? Let's look at it in two ways. As a negative-minded person, you may think along the lines of, what on earth am I doing here? I haven't got any chance of getting this job, neither do I have the required qualifications or the experience. Most probably I will go in there, make a fool of myself in front of anyone. Why did I decide to come here at all? As a positive-minded person, you'll be confident and ready to face anything. You'll probably think this way: if I've got this far, it's because of my own efforts, so I must be really good, and if I'm good, then I've got a great chance of getting the job. I've got the experience, the qualifications, and I'll say only the right things when questioned, so I'm ready. The thinking of both the persons is miles apart. The positive-minded person is confident and actually looking forward to attending the interview. In contrast, the negative person is literally on the verge of running away. He doubts himself and dreads the approaching interview. The last thing he has is faith in himself. Give a thought to this. Which person do you think stands more of a chance of getting the job? Put yourself in the shoes of the company boss. Which of the two people would you prefer working for you? A positive mental attitude obviously boosts one's confidence. It gives a person a power that draws towards them the favourable circumstances, things and people that they think about the most. Success is something everybody's after. However, believe it or not, your attitude may actually be repelling the very thing you're after. A positive mind attracts opportunities for success, while a negative mind fends them off. In fact, a negative-minded person doesn't even take up the opportunities that come along. Why? He is busy focusing on the next time he is going to fail. Here's a short case study when unemployed. Unemployment. Those who have been through it will know it's terrible. Neville did not have a job, neither did he have any money. There were numerous jobs that he wasn't even applying for, as he was sure that he stood no chance in getting them. He had the mindset of a loser. He had what we just saw to be a negative mind. Finally, he decided to change himself. He made it a point to think positively in all situations, and what a difference that made. His life changed. The glass that once looked half empty to him now seemed half full. The results were amazing. Neville started to radiate confidence and optimism instead of the usual feelings of self-pity and failure. This attracted the right kinds of people to him. With all the pieces of the puzzle put together, success just had to come to him. So, you see the connection? Positive thinking equals success. Suppose you're at a party. What kind of people would you be drawn towards in a party? Would it be a good-humoured person who looks at things positively and spreads laughter? Or would it be a miserable-looking person who has nothing to talk about but depressing things? Doesn't require much thinking, does it? Another valuable lesson you could do with is this. You may find yourself in a difficult situation sometimes, but then you forget that someone else could be in a much worse situation. Frank was the only son of his parents. It was Christmas and he expected them to buy a new pair of shoes for him. His parents could not afford anything at that time. He complained and said such words as, "You don't care about me at all," and walked out of the house. Angry as he was, he kicked at everything he saw in the path. Suddenly, he stopped in his tracks. He saw before him a man without any feet. It dawned upon him how lucky he was. What if I don't have any shoes? Am I not lucky to have my 2 feet, he told himself. His parents were glad to find their son happy and not complaining anymore when he came back. This is a story you might have heard before in different forms. Doesn't it convey a simple message? Look at what you have instead of what you don't have. As Napoleon Hill once said, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, your mind can achieve. Your greatest potential asset is your ability to believe. The only problem is that you can't benefit from it unless you have what is required, a positive attitude. You earlier saw that successful people are positive people. Now ask yourself this: am I one of them? Do I think positively? No matter what mindset you have, there are ways to change it. There are techniques that you can apply to cultivate positive habits in yourself. You can learn them all right here. These techniques have helped people form and keep a positive mental attitude. It has bettered their lives. It has worked for them. Why won't it work for you? Coming up is a bit of practical advice that you could very well act upon. You may be an unemployed person desperately looking for a job, or even the managing director of a company. The suggestions are recommended for everyone to apply in their life. So, how do we form and keep a positive mental attitude? To get a positive mental attitude, first of all, what you need to do is think and act on the can-do approach of every activity instead of no can-do approach. Positive people look for answers while negative people look for questions. There's a poem by Joyce C. Locke which has these lines. If I were a hammer, I'd miss the nail. If I were a knife, I'd cut a finger as well. If I were a letter, I'd be lost in the mail. There are many more such lines in the poem, but I can't recollect. But do you also think on such lines? Are you a problem seeker or a solution seeker? The negative persons are, in short, problem seekers. They believe that problems and obstacles cannot be surpassed. As against that, positive people, no matter what problem they are facing, look for solutions. All it takes is a smile. Go back to the list about positive and negative people that you had created before. Look at the positive people listed on it and mull over this. Don't these people smile and laugh a lot more and appear happier than the negative thinkers? It may seem very silly, but there is a lot of power associated with a smile. A smile is always returned with a smile. So, now onwards, follow this rule. Smile more often. That doesn't mean you have to walk around with a silly grin on your face all the time. Smile when you speak to someone. Smile as you walk down the street. Smile when looking at yourself in the mirror. Smile even when speaking on the phone. You will be amazed by the good feeling that it generates within you. You feel better and project a positive image to others, which attracts opportunities and more people towards you. Remember, positive people are happy people, and negative people or not. Happy people seem to be more attractive and pleasant to others compared to gloomy people. Isn't this an added bonus for you? Pat people on the back. Give them compliments. Here's another short story for you. Maria, I got a very good position at a local firm, though the work was something she enjoyed doing. She was never satisfied. Her boss never appreciated her work. She worked very hard and received a lot of appreciation from her colleagues. However, her boss merely looks at the work and grumbles. She had been feeling down since she joined, till her colleagues confided in her that the man was like that. He never appreciated good work. Instead, there was no end to his criticism. There are many people we see in life who jump at the chance of criticising a person when something goes wrong. Moreover, these people don't even acknowledge when you are right. To create and reflect a positive mental attitude, start complimenting people. If you already have the habit, increase the number of times you do it. If your partner buys you a new piece of clothing and looks attractive, don't just notice that, tell them. You don't lose anything by complimenting someone, do you? And anyway, a compliment never goes to waste. So compliment your staff and colleagues on the work. Compliment your child on making it to the football team. The general idea is that if you feel good by making others feel good and it enhances your positive mental attitude, what more? You also enhance the positive mental attitude of the people you compliment. Merely complimenting people is not enough. The way we treat them is also important. Just follow this simple rule. Treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. This involves treating everyone as though he or she is the most important person in the world because to him or her it stands true. The laws of success state that whatever you hand out in life, you get back at least 10 times as much of it. Connect this rule to life. If you make other people feel worthwhile, useful and valuable, you too are bound to be treated in the same manner, 10 times as much. Research has shown that a customer will tell at least 10 people if its expectations from a company have been met with or exceeded, or even if his complaint was dealt with promptly and efficiently. The same happens if you exceed the expectations of your friends, your boss and your colleagues. You will find yourself becoming popular, highly regarded and noted. Now comes a warning. When you compliment people and treat them with respect, be sure that you're doing so genuinely. You must mean what you say, believe, conceive and achieve. Start believing that success to you is inevitable. Whatever task you are given, picture success in your mind. Burn the thought into your subconscious mind. Keep yourself focused on the outcome that you want to achieve in what you do. The mind can achieve anything that it believes and conceives. You will be surprised to know that there is a giant asleep within yourself, and you can direct him to do anything that you want. You have no idea what you're capable of. Don't underestimate yourself. Believe it. The power of your mind and imagination is truly exceptional. You can think your way to almost anything in life: success, happiness, illness, and even death. Remember the story about a middle-aged man who was working in a refrigeration unit in America? I've told you before in one of the courses. One day he somehow got himself locked inside the unit accidentally. He banged on the door, he screamed for some time, but no one heard him. He gave up. He sat down, defeated, and was sure he was going to die soon. He became all numb and cold. He somehow scribbled a message for the people who would eventually find him. Getting colder now, starting to shiver, nothing to do but wait, slowly freezing to death. Half asleep now, these are my final words. At least 5 hours passed before someone opened the door and found the dead man's body. Now, that's a sad story, but here comes a twist. The unit was working fine all of the time. It was just a fault, and it had stopped working, but the guy had simply thought that it was really cold and had willed himself to death. That's the power of the mind. Use it for a fulfilled life. Good luck. And remember, if at any time you wish to download this course so that you may fill in the questions on the worksheet, then please go to www.selinastone.com under the heading e-courses. As always, until next time, be lucky.